Hello, beloveds. Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Sisterhood podcast. My name is Mary Wright. I am your host, and happy Friday. So today I felt very, very called. Like literally, I shot right up from my meditation pillow and right away came into my husband's recording studio to put on the microphone and start recording here. Felt very, very called and guided today to speak about 3 things that you need to know to help you anchor in New Earth. Here's the thing. New Earth is already here. The 5th dimension is already here. Even higher dimensional realms are actually available to us depending on our frequency. What is the 5th dimension? It's a bandwidth of frequency that is at such a high vibration that lower hijacked templates like enslavement, fear programming, scarcity, poverty, separation, all of that old dense 3D stuff cannot exist in this higher bandwidth of frequency, which is why we call it the New Earth. The New Earth is where everyone is living in harmony with the planet and harmony with each other. Everyone is living with their hearts open. We're living in peace. We're living in sacred union where masculine and feminine, externally and internally, are united, where we're not at war with each other, where the oceans are clean, where everyone has equal opportunities, where no matter where in the world you are, you have an abundance of clean drinking water and nutritious food, and abundance is available to everybody. There's like this golden grid of abundance that overlays the earth, and anybody is welcome to tap into it and fully flourish from it. So something that, before I actually get into the first 3, something that I do want to say is that the 3rd dimension is actually already dissolved. We saw the dissolving of the 3rd dimension this year. And so now what we're seeing on a planetary scale is actually the lower levels of the 4th dimension, which looks a lot like the 3rd dimension. But this is why we're seeing such shifts happening in the collective, is because the 3rd dimension is no longer there. So there's a dissolving happening of old systems, of old timelines and so forth, and people's frequencies are shifting, which is why things that we once clung onto are falling away. And so that's why on a collective scale, we're seeing such massive shifts this year. It's incredible to witness. Because, this is something that has been prophesied about since ancient times. We are actually in it. We are in the prophecy. It's pretty mind-blowing when you really step out of it and observe it from a higher perspective. It is incredible what is happening here. So we are traveling as a collective at a quantum speed through the 4th dimension, traveling into the 5th dimension. And so it's like we're kind of in a wormhole where we're just like accelerating through the ascension process through the 4th dimension, which is too why we're seeing such dismantling, such dissolving. So many people are shifting, really beginning to awaken. We're in a huge, huge, huge planetary awakening right now. And so this too is why time feels so wonky. We've been in lockdown here this is the 27th day here in Austria. And I was just saying to my husband, it does not feel like we've already been in lockdown for 27 days. But then at the same time, when I look at it, I feel like we've been in November for like 2 months. And that's because we're receiving such an incredible amount of data and information and codes from the stars, from the sun, from the galactics, that we're receiving like 3 months worth of information crammed into one day. And so our bodies are experiencing so much energy. Our bodies are moving through so much energy. Our bodies are activating so quickly. And that's also why it can feel like you can go through so many processes in one day when you really drop into your emotions and clearing, that it's like you step into a portal. Every single day is a portal, which you can shift through something so quickly, so ultra fast that would have maybe taken you weeks prior to move through something. So it's incredible how quickly we are able to just hop from timeline to timeline to timeline, and you make decisions according to what timeline you're anchoring in moment by moment. So, for example, if you know that, and I'm speaking a little bit to myself here, but I've been really good the last couple of weeks, so tooting my horn here for a moment. If you know that dairy affects your body, if you know that dairy makes your stomach feel bloated, if you know that dairy makes your skin break out, if you just know that your dairy makes your body feel heavy and mucousy, but you choose to continue to have dairy, that moment that you choose between, say, almond milk and dairy milk. I actually don't drink dairy milk. I drink almond milk, but for me, it's the cheese. Let's use cheese. Let's use cheese. So say, for example, you have a Gouda cheese in your fridge and you also have a vegan cheddar in your fridge. If you choose on your veggie bake that you made today to put the Gouda on it, knowing that it affects your stomach, you're actually choosing a lower timeline. Whereas if you would have chosen that vegan cheese, you would have chosen the higher timeline. And so moment by moment, every choice we make, we shift timelines. Just like if you choose to, open your phone and start scrolling social media within your first hour of being awake, you're choosing a timeline. You're choosing a timeline where it's anchoring you to a lower reality. Whereas if you choose to keep your phone off and rather maybe stand in your living room window and stand in the sunshine and just scoop up the sun and just breathe the sun in and maybe do some breathing exercises, you're choosing a higher timeline. You're choosing a higher reality. And so moment by moment, we are kind of shifting back and forth between different dimensional realms, different frequencies, different bandwidths based on our choices, which is really powerful, super powerful. So you can imagine if you just continue to choose the higher timeline, continue to make the highest choice, what's going to happen after even a day of that? Even just a day of all day, you're just making higher choices. It's incredible how amazing you feel because you've shifted into higher bandwidth. You've probably shifted into new earth. You've probably shifted into the fifth dimension, right? Okay, so I just want to loop back here. I'm looking at my notes here for a moment. So in the lower levels of the fourth dimensional realm, this is where the corruption games are hanging out. This is where the consciousness of, I'm not going to say the word because of censorship, but this pathogen that has affected the world, the consciousness of that pathogen, that's where that hangs out with, and all of the fear narratives that are webbed in that's all in the lower fourth dimensional realms. And honestly, our social media, when we're scrolling through social media and we're getting around with, fake news and this person said this and this and this and this, all these agendas, we easily can get swallowed up in those lower realms of the fourth dimension, and into the consciousness of that pathogen, because it's a huge consciousness, right? But when we elevate our frequency above that, we are able to tap into these higher realms. We're able to tap into the new earth, and we're able to tap into the abundance, the possibility, the creation potential of these higher realms, of the 5D and above, of new earth. In new earth, that pathogen doesn't really exist. It's going to be like a past tale of hey, remember when that thing came through the world and it completely shifted consciousness and activated and triggered the Great Awakening, right? So up in the 5D world, we can view what's happening, but we're not getting affected and going into reactionary states. And so we're able to really just embody that source divine consciousness energy and be conduits for that, be anchoring that light onto the planet, be tapping into creative and flow states, be tapping into the abundance grid and really playing with that and commanding and declaring over our realm, commanding and calling forth what we desire to see reflected out in our reality, and really stepping into our masterful creative potential. So, how do we do this? How do we get there? There's 3 things that you need to know to help you tap into this, because it's already here. It's already here. It's just a choice. It's a choice whether you're going to shift into it or if you're going to hang back into the lower realms. And there's no judgment when we drop down into the lower realms, into like the lower 4th dimensional realms. We're going to continue to bob in and out until like the majority of Earth, the majority of the collectives has shifted into the 5th dimension. And that's because like, us light workers, us way showers, us starseeds, when we bob back down, it's because we're clearing. We're doing some major clearing in the grid. We're clearing out anything that's not in alignment with source love. And so we have a purpose. There's a purpose when we drop down into that 4th dimensional realm. We're doing big grid keeping, big clearing to help assist the humanity into all crossing this 4th dimensional bridge into 5D. So, number 1 thing that you need to know, you can access New Earth 5th dimension through your heart. It's through the heart field. And so it's not by like, leaving your body and shooting up through the cosmos, which is fun, but we're really, really hearing guidance from our teams, our spirit realm entourage to really ground ourselves in our bodies, because Earth is where our work is. We can bring those higher dimensions of consciousness down through our bodies because we are, our vessels are capable of that. But our role is to be here grounded on Earth so that we can anchor that light to help assist with what's happening with the world. So we can access the New Earth potential through opening our heart fields and expanding into it, dropping in and really feeling gratitude and playfulness, and just really being in our hearts. Our heart, the love frequency is the purest frequency that we can tap into. It's the highest frequency we can tap into. And so by shifting out of fear and into love, into gratitude, into appreciation, really claiming like the blessings and the bliss and the miracles that are available for us now, we can access the New Earth realm. We can shift into the New Earth timelines. Okay, so, throughout the day, if you notice that your heart's closing, just drop back in, open it up. Breathe into it. Feel into what you're grateful for. Just think about, something beautiful. I like, for example, when I was in the shower this morning, I was seeing like rainbow colors pouring over me and glitter, and it was like a unicorn sparkly shower, and it made me super happy, and that just blasted my heart open, because was I seeing that with my physical eyes? No, but I was seeing it in my third eye. So I was creating that. I was creating this beautiful, like, gorgeous shower pouring over me, pouring over my field. And it was just super, serious starseed vibes. It was gorgeous. Dolphins, all of it. It was super beautiful. And so I created that timeline. I created that. And that opened up my heart, and that really helped me tap in and anchor into the New Earth. And I also want to say, like, the last few days, I have woke up feeling like I'm already in the 5th dimension. I haven't had to unplug myself from anything. I've just been feeling super good and like I've anchored it in. But that was also after walking through a very intense, fatigued portal where, like, I was going through crazy retemplating, and all sorts of, like, self-doubt and unworthiness stuff was coming up for me, as that I had to witness as it was letting go out of my field. So, we're gonna ebb and flow. We're gonna bob in and out, and that's just the way of the game for now. But we can predominantly choose to operate mainly from the 5th dimension in the New Earth with the different choices that we make day by day. Okay, so number 2. We anchor ourselves to old realities through routine. We anchor ourselves into outdated timelines through our schedules and our routine. which is why it's so incredible that the world is once again having an opportunity to break free from our patterns, break free from our routines by going into said lockdown that the world is in again. So what I'm recommending for you to do is to change it up. Each day, do something different. Don't start your day out the same way, day in and day out. If normally you start your day out by, coffee and toast and scrolling your news feed, tomorrow, have a green juice, do some yoga instead. For myself, I've been really working on my shifting my morning because my routine became so kind of anchored in. I would be up super late, then I would be sleeping in till 10 o'clock in the morning, which for me, I'm more of a night owl, and so that really, really served me. I was more in my creative potential by allowing myself to sleep in that late, but I was starting to feel like it was not serving me anymore in this timeline that I'm in, and so I have set boundaries with myself around phone time right before bed. At 10:30, I say goodnight to my friend that's on the East Coast in America, that she's 6 hours behind me. So, we're texting at sort of wonky times of the day because of the time zone difference. So I set the intention that I say goodnight to her then at 10:30 so that I have between 10:30 and 11 to wind down, and then I'm asleep. Usually by 11, I fall asleep listening to a guided meditation or binaural beats. And then I'm up at 8 now. And what I was doing for a while was that I would, sit and have my tea and kind of just chill out with my dog Lila and just really take my time in the mornings before come 10 o'clock. Hey, I'm going into my meditation room now. But it was like the same thing day in and day out. And so what I've started to do is, for example, today I woke up and I went straight to my yoga mat. Yesterday, I woke up, I went straight downstairs outside, put my hands on earth and said good morning to her. So by shifting each day what you're doing, your routine in a sense, it shifts you into different timelines. It shifts you into different potentials. It opens you up to new streams of ideas, creativity, and consciousness to come through. So change it up. Change up. Here's another thing. When I was channeling Goddess Isis last night, she had said, because my morning routine, usually like when I'm, setting my intention for the day, meditating and so forth, I'm usually, hanging out in my meditation room for 2-3 hours doing different energy things. And she said to break it up, where rather than combining it into a 2-3 hour window in the morning, sprinkle it throughout the day. So first thing in the morning, I'm doing my yoga, and then I had breakfast and I meditated, and then I did a little bit of work now, and then I'm going to do some of my prayers afterwards, and then I'm going to go back to doing some work, and then I'm going to walk Lila, and then I'm going to probably do some breathing exercises, some tantric breathing, and so forth. So rather than combining it all in one window, I'm sprinkling it throughout the day. And so I encourage you to kind of just play around with it and see what opens up for you by changing it up. And number 3, this one's done in meditation. I want you to see yourself unplugging yourself from outdated realities, from outdated templates, outdated timelines, outdated stories and limiting beliefs, and see yourself plugging in to the 5th dimension. So if you've watched The Matrix, you see they're from their skulls, they're actually plugged into the Matrix. See yourself like you would unplugging a plug from a socket, pulling it out, unplugging it from the 3D, from the 4D, and then plugging yourself into the 5th dimension, and then just breathe in that abundance grid, breathe in all of those beautiful frequencies, those new earth frequencies of love, of peace, of bliss, of miracles, of blessings. For me, when I would see myself unplug and then plug in, a blast of golden light would go up around me, and it would just end up consuming me, and then my entire field would be surrounded by this golden light. And so do that every day in your meditations until you get to a point where you're waking up feeling like, yo, I'm already here. I'm already in the 5D. I'm already in the new earth. My rainbow light body, she be activated already. I'm doing this. I'm doing awesome. Heck yes. Let's keep expanding this. Miracles, miracles, miracles. And also, Don't judge yourself if you wake up feeling drudgy and sludgy and whatnot. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It means that you're clearing something out and you're feeling it to clear it. It would be very abnormal in this point of time of reality of the collective to be feeling amazing and blissed out every single day. We are going to have wobbles. We're going to have days where we're tired. We're going to have days where we are in a DNA activation. And as awesome as DNA activations are, yes, please, more DNA upgrades. They usually take us kind of offline while we're going through it. So that can come in the form of feeling completely disconnected from source, feeling completely disconnected from reality, and being in a complete grog fest, which oftentimes in that place, old limiting thought forms can come up because our vibration is down. So just be gentle with yourself when you have those days, and those days that you are feeling good, own that 5D reality. Own it. Play with it. Create with it. Have fun with it. The new earth is very much a creative space. And so this isn't just creating for work. If you want to, doodle and paint and write and make music and make crafts and scrapbook and bake and cook and just, be creative. Channel it out. Express yourself. So, that feels good. So if you are seeking support with helping you anchor in your new earth reality, helping you to just really expand into your soul's true divine blueprint of, you standing in your power, you claiming your magic, you allowing your gifts and magic to unfold and come online and activate. And, perhaps you desire to one day create a soul-aligned business for yourself, even though you don't quite know what that looks like yet, and you just really want to commit to doing your own healing work, doing your own growth. I do currently have private mentorship options open. So what I specifically do, I help women reclaim their power and magic to align with their soul's path of joy and purpose. And I specialize in working on alchemizing the priestess and witch wound so that you can boldly and confidently show up and own your light and own your magic. And if you are a light worker, you desire to share your gifts and magic to the world, this will really help support you in doing so confidently and be well received and such. I also specialize in connecting you to your divine feminine wisdom through the portal of your womb and reclaiming your ancient feminine blueprint. I support women in healing and fusing the masculine and feminine together in sacred union. I specialize in helping women shift out of self-doubt into owning their light. And I specialize in bringing the higher dimensional realms down into the earthly realm and supporting starseeds and grounding into their bodies so that they feel safe in this earthly realm to allow their gifts and magics to come online so that they can embody more of their higher self as well as I support women in shifting and lifting outdated templates like what I just spoke of here today so that you can embody more of your higher self and expand into your new earth reality. So if any of these speak to you and you are in a place where you're ready to receive private mentorship support, reach out. You can email me at coachmaryens, ENNS @gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, which I am under my married name there, Mary Wright, WRIGHT. I'm also on Instagram at Mary J Coaching. I'm easy to find. I'm everywhere. So reach out and we can explore what collaborating together for your healing and evolution will look like. And if you got this far, I also want to let you know, I have a Sagittarius season sale going on right now in honor of, the Black Friday times and all that jazz. But definitely felt called with this beautiful fiery Sagittarius season. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so love the Sages. So I have 50 to 60% off on all products on my website. So right now I'm offering shamanic healing sessions for 44 euros. Normally they're 88 euros. So this is really powerful in supporting you and just releasing any sort of heavy energy and density, maybe releasing a relationship, releasing a trauma, releasing grief. Just very, very powerful, super potent. So those are just single solo healing sessions. I'm offering them for 44 euros until December 11th. I also am offering the Starseed Activation Bundle, which is a collection of star-seeded meditations, galactivations, and prayers to support you in aligning with your soul purpose and just connecting with your star and soul lineage, and just really, really activating you in your starseed code. So I'm offering that for 33 euros. Normally it is 60. And I'm also offering the Grounded Starseed, a 3-week digital course, but you can go through it self-paced for 111 euros. Normally it is 333 euros. And so the Grounded Starseed course helps you to embody more of your higher self, really bring all of those higher dimensional realms down into your body and really claiming your space, claiming your body, claiming your presence in the earthly realm to support you in aligning with your soul's purpose and align you with your soul's greatest joy. So yeah, all of these are on sale until December 11th. They are all on my website, or you can always just reach out to me and I can send you the right direction. So happy Thanksgiving weekend to my American friends. And I am wishing you all a beautiful weekend. We have the full moon and a lunar eclipse. So lots of beautiful energies being stirred up right now. Such a beautiful and potent time that we're in. And I love you. Thank you so much for listening. Share this with a sister if you found that this really supported you and you think it would really support her. And also, if you're not already in the Sacred She Pack Facebook group, I invite you to hop on in there and join the community there. Really awesome vibes. And on that note, I love you. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Hydrate. Have fun and open your heart and play with these new earth frequencies. Bye for now.